Hi. I'm going to try to explain something that I hope you can take to heart. I'm going to try to explain something that is the essence or the math or the logic or the tool that we use at Destiny to realize self, basically, to discover ourselves. And you know, all people of age have to various degrees a complex mind living, a complex box mind consciousness system that are more or less imaginary and that are resting on their head, basically. And you know, this is how we are presented all the conscious social media. I just watched a documentary about social media and algorithms and that jazz, you know, how we're all taken by it and how we're controlled by it, you know. Quite interesting. Something that I feel we should dive more into in such documentaries is a particular conscious experience. What is the depth of that? Where does that keep us? Where does that take us? Because with the mind, we need stimuli, and we need stimuli from somewhere to keep us in an up and down, positive, negative polarity. And you know, this energy, this polarity, this positive, negative, is from the mind extracted as in taking physical flesh from your own body, extracted up into your mind, in mind concept, and there played out like a, you know, a polarity, a positive or negative feeling. So basically, thinking and polarity experiences and feelings and emotions, which are polarity experiences, thinking and feelings and emotions, the very, very core of it is the mind system keeping the physical body its slave and extracting, taking physical flesh from your own body to be used as entertainment in the conscious mind box to keep us satisfied, relaxed, high, you know, positive or negative, whatever we desire. Or stuck in thinking about this, thinking about that, stressing about thinking, being nervous about thinking, thoughts which are fueled by physical live flesh from our own bodies. Okay? So the mind box complex uses to fuel itself physical flesh from the body, from the muscles of ourselves, our own bodies. So there's a master slave relationship going on, just like the Matrix tells us. The Matrix movie, you know, if you've seen that, I recommend that. Matrix, the first original Matrix movie from 1999, I believe. So how do we ever break free from this mind concept? And you know, because it's not real. what we're living in the mind box is imaginary, okay? It's also on a borderline between the metaphysics and the physics. And, you know, these fragments that are torn loose from your muscles, from your body, to be live entertainment in your conscious mind, is so tiny. Tiny pieces of your muscle tissue to be brought into spin in your conscious polarity mind to entertain us, to entertain you, you know. And considering that a human being has like 60,000 thoughts during a day, approximately, it's no wonder that we age, and thinking is one of the main factors of aging. Thinking, like in the conscious mind, thinking is one of the main drivers of aging, because it is extracting physical flesh from the body, physical tissue from the muscles, that is used to stimulate and entertain our conscious mind as thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So, knowing this, we can find, like, what I've been doing, what we at Destiny are doing for many years now, have discovered a way to reverse this, basically, or to stop this, you know, this enslavement of mind, of the physical, because we learn to find ourselves in the body, because the body is the equal and one life, God, unit, water, flow, existence. The body is equal and one to all people, and the body is the pure, real, honest life. The liver, the heart, the blood, the bones, the cells, the skin, the organs, everything, that is the real juice, that is the real life, that is the real hardcore truth that we are, that have been programmed and enslaved by mind consciousness system. So when I discover myself as physical body, as my organs, as my blood, as my physical life, water, my flow, my inner garden, you might say, my beingness of the universe, myself as physical flesh, when I discover that within myself, and when I'm with that as awareness, when I have a awareness of myself as physical heart and liver and blood, and when I am that, and I have that awareness, that is, you know, a part of a solution, you might say. That's part of the equal and one contribution to something that is equal for all human beings, that is equal to life, that is real, that is honesty, and not some polarity fling up in the mind, okay? So don't be afraid of the darkness, okay? Because the mind has been programming and enslaving the physical body of mankind, per individual, for a long time. So there's a lot of programs, there's a lot of, what shall I say, darkness, but the programs can be solved, particularly with self-forgiveness, and the darkness is only ever parts of self that have not yet been discovered. Darkness is only ever parts of self that have not yet been discovered. So when we empower ourselves, when we realize ourselves, we figure out this shit, the mind stuff, we figure that out. And in those moments we find earthing, we find stability, we find comfort and rejuvenation and care and consideration as the physical life, the flow, the waters, the inner sanctuary of ourselves. And one of the most prominent and, what shall I say, coolest way to go about this, to release the enslavement of mind and to become physical life, sanity, water, all that life stuff, that is solution, that is equal in one solution as physicality. The tool of self-forgiveness, my dear friend. With the tool of forgiving the mind addiction, the polarity, feelings and emotions, the thinking, the conscious construct, the subconscious construct, the unconscious construct, all these things that are keeping us down in lesser, in war, in competing, in blame, in desiring, in addiction, and all this stuff that are systems in our minds. At Destiny, we go great length to understand. We go all the way to understand completely all of mind, everything, all avenues. And, for me, forgiving all my nasty, darkest ghosts, you might say, trolls, stuff that have been bothering me, emotions, trauma, and shit in my thinking, and so on. With me forgiving me, that is something real, prominent juice, my dear friend, to discover self as the one savior of self from this mind enslavement. For me, forgiving myself for all those mind occupations, all those mind designs and programs and avenues, depth of enslavement. Okay? When I forgive that, I release the mind addiction, I release the polarities, and I lessen the worryful thinking, and I discover myself as physical life, flesh, my heart, my liver, my organs, my blood, my skin, myself as physical life. And that is solution, I might say, That is the truth of the matter. That is the hard physical evidence that I'm breathing, that my heart is pumping, that I'm alive. That is it. But that's like, wow, yes, I'm here. It's awareness, it's solution, it's life. But the mind have lured us into addiction, into egoism and thinking and feelings and emotions. And that's how that's been for a very, very long time, and developing for a very, very long time. So when we find ourselves in our bodies, when we find ourselves as physical life flesh, that is the solution. When I forgive the mind addiction, the mind math, when I forgive the mind consciousness tools that enslave my physical body, that keep me locked and stuck as cattle, as beef, as muscle tissue, to feed into my polarity of feelings, emotions, and thoughts. Those three in particular. So self-forgiveness can have really, really helped me to realize myself, to discover myself. Like you can feel this here, to discover myself. And I cannot do anything other than to share what I find here, to share that solution with you, dear friend, because we all deserve a good life. We all deserve change and a better reality, because there's so much suffering and polarities and fighting and lies and corruption and everything. So from me forgiving myself, I set myself free from the imprisonment of mind, from self-judgment, from all that, all those emotions, all those feelings and thoughts, complex polarities, etc. And when I am one person who liberates this package, that is one person standing as solution, as world solution. So if you choose to go into the box, that's practically death. Because it's imaginary, it isn't real. That's how the Facebook and Twitter and TikTok and all those platforms are built up as a conscious wall. They keep us, there. That's just a perspective. That's just a perspective thrown out there, But to really live, which we have yet to see, is to liberate from the mind enslavement, where mind use extracts physical tissue from the muscles to entertain itself as feelings, emotions, and thinking, into breathing it out, forgiving it all, forgiving everything within self as self, and realize that I am still here. I am physical, I am life, I am blood, I am heart, I am liver, I am bones, I am feet and hands. I'm all of me in my own Garden of Eden within myself, where I can, be and express and grow and nourish and share the solution that I find. So to be a one plus, to be solution, to be real, is to realize self, to empower self, and finding rooting, finding stability, finding sanity as self, grounding, on land, you land in here, And self-forgiveness is here. It's a tool for us to use. And if we don't use it, then what? You are left as a box, a playable box, a box that is easily manipulated, and that is actually not alive, because in that box reality, it is imaginary, and it's practically not life in the definition of imagination and deception. Okay, thank you. So now I think I've explained this, and if you have questions about how to use self-forgiveness or any sort of questions like this, let me know. Check out the links and enjoy your day.